On June 25, 1981, Our Lady came to earth with an urgent message. The first words to the 6 visionaries was peace, peace, and only peace. Peace must reign between God and man and among all people. As the world has suddenly gotten more dangerous, it is now clear why Our Lady has come as the Queen of Peace. As tensions rise between the United States and Russia over activities in Ukraine, talk of world wars suddenly does not seem far-fetched. The danger is real. 150,000 heavily armed Russian troops have just invaded Ukraine. A year ago, Vladimir Putin warned a group of Western journalists, saying, "You people in turn do not feel a sense of the impending danger. This is what worries me. How do you not understand that the world is being pulled in an irreversible direction? I don't know how to get through to you anymore." Russia and Ukraine are now engaged in a major conflict that ultimately could lead to a sequence of unpredictable events. China and Taiwan, Israel and Iran all appear ready to settle some scores. Here at Mystic Post, we find it fascinating and important that Catholic prophecy predicted many of today's unfolding events. Events that are not just matters for secular historians to unpack, but the future of Christianity itself is mysteriously tied to Russia and the Virgin Mary. At Fatima, Our Lady warned the world that Russia would err if certain actions were not taken. This error turned out to be atheist communism. Lenin himself said that the goal of communism was to rid Christianity from the world. And he put in motion the most direct attack on religion in the history of the world. Fatima's secrets mysteriously spotlighted Russia's central role in Our Lady's prophecies concerning future events that we are seeing unfold today. Vatican insider Father Malachi Martin claims to have read the third secret of Fatima. He kept his oath to never disclose its full contents, but in a radio interview with Art Bell he had some extraordinary things to say about the third secret, Russia and Ukraine. In the radio interview he said, "Sister Lucia's single-page letter of the third secret covers 3 topics. 1. A physical chastisement of nations. 2. A spiritual chastisement. 3. The central function of Russia in the two, which in fact, the physical and spiritual chastisements are to be girded on a fateful timetable in which Russia is the raptured." In Malachi Martin's book, The Last Prophet, he wrote that the third secret will involve Russia and Ukraine. He said, "Russia's role in the vision of Fatima is very important because if we're to believe the vision of Fatima, salvation for the world, the cure for the world ills, will start in the Ukraine and in Russia." And that was why the Virgin in the Fatima vision of 1917 was supposed to have spoken actively about Russia, and that Russia first of all has to be cured of her errors, and then she will help the entire world to get better and to cure itself of its sins. It's a very bizarre message in that sense, because one would have said that salvation was going to come from the West, as we always think because we are Westerners, but no, according to the message of Fatima, salvation will come from the East, and particularly, from Ukraine and from the state of Russia itself, which is extraordinary. Are today's events in Russia and Ukraine a sign that the world is heading towards the fulfillment of the Fatima and Medjugorje Russia prophecy? On August 25, 1991, Our Lady said that Medjugorje is the fulfillment of Fatima. On May 13, 1981, at the height of the Cold War and atheist communism, the Soviet Union attempted to assassinate Pope John Paul II. A little over 1 month later, on June 24, 1981, the Virgin Mary began to appear to 6 children in Medjugorje, in the communist country of Yugoslavia. Then in October of 1981, Our Lady of Medjugorje revealed her Russia prophecy, which ties Medjugorje to Fatima in a powerful way. She said Russia will come to glorify God the most, the West will make civilization progress but without God, and will act like their own creator. Pope John Paul II had this to say about Medjugorje, Fatima and Russia: "Look, Medjugorje is a continuation, an extension of Fatima. Our Lady is appearing in communist countries primarily because of problems that originate in Russia. According to John Paul II's close confidant, Bishop Nilika, soon after the events in Medjugorje began, the Pope understood that Our Lady would be central in the fight against communism, and that this would be the mission of his pontificate. This understanding would lead to the consecration of Russia on March 24, 1984. After the successful act of consecration of Russia, what followed was an astonishing sequence of events as atheist communism collapsed. The Berlin Wall fell and the Soviet Union's flag came down on Christmas Day 1991. So fast forward to today's rising tensions between the United States and Russia, and again we see that the prophecies of Fatima and Medjugorje continue to be relevant by accurately predicting the future in an unprecedented way. Few would argue that world elites from the West, including the United States, are building a future without God. What is less well known is that Christianity in Russia has experienced a mysterious revival. Now Putin lectures the United States for abandoning its Christian roots. He said, "We see in Europe and the United States that they've taken the way where they deny their own roots, including their Christian roots which form the basis of Western civilization. Faith in God is equal to faith in Satan." As the fulfillment of Medjugorje's Russia prophecy seems to be unfolding, has the future arrived? Are we now entering the long-predicted second period? Have we reached the time of the 10 secrets? God bless and thank you for watching Mystic Post TV.